One of the things that you need to know about these Apache configuration files, they're all located in the Etsy directory. If you go into Etsy Apache 2, you see a number of folders in here. The sites enabled is the one that controls the virtual site that is presented on the listening ports on that system. So if we go into sites enabled, we actually have two files in here. One's a default.conf, 000default.conf, and that is the port 80 with HTTP service. And you'll see in your document root var www.html. That's because that is the document root for this site. If we look in there, that's where we find index.html. So that's essentially the folder on the file system that is presented as the website. So that's the root of the website. Remember, URLs, when we access them, they kind of look like a file path, right? That's because they are actually the path on the file system. If I were to go in here, and I don't think I have permission to do this. I might have to sudo this. Let's just create a, this is not real HTML, but I'm just going to put this in here. This is the test. So we have a file in var www.html new called index.html. If I were to put that path in my browser, I would get that file. So that's what's going on. Now, back to the config files, Apache 2 and sites enabled. There's another site in here, and that's the SSL site. Let's take a look at that. It has the same document root. So this could be configured differently, right? So if you access the site on HTTPS, you could be taken to a different document root, but we're going to leave that the same. It's the same var www.html. The thing that you need to change in here, all the other defaults are fine. There are two statements in here. SSL certificate file and SSL certificate key file. That's the SSL public key cert and then the private key for the server. And in my case, I've edited this path. When you first get this file, the default configuration has something about, I think it's Etsy, Apache, maybe snakeoil.cert and key. You can have to edit those. This needs to point to the location of the files you created. And the other thing that's important about that is the server process that's running. Let's say this is running under the user HTTP or Apache. That user needs to be able to access those files. So if you keep the files in your home directory under student, they may not be able to access the files. So I actually copied the files into Etsy Apache 2 sites available. And we see them here. Sites available. There are my key files, server.cert and server.key. So I'm just pointing to those files.